This week, Legion Go S support continues to land in SteamOS, and we're going to talk all about it. Plus, NVIDIA details the future of Wayland support in their drivers. And there's a new step that you need to take to secure your GOG account. I'll show you how. All of this and more today. That's right, it's time for Steam Deck and Linux gaming news. First up, let's talk about the updates that have hit for SteamOS. The latest beta brings a new battery charging limit, which is really exciting. This allows you to set a maximum threshold above which the device will not charge any further, and this is good to help you preserve the battery life of your device, as remaining fully charged for a long time can cause the formation of lithium dendrites that reduce the battery's overall capacity. They also fixed an issue where the performance overlay would spuriously appear and could not be disabled. They fixed an issue where exiting a game could lead to the UI getting stuck until a button was pressed, but the most important thing here is that they added support for updating the controller and system firmware on the Legion Go S. Now, we've seen how the Steam Deck has a method for updating firmware and that of the official docking station for the Steam Deck itself. With this update, Valve's adding near first-party support for the Legion Go S, and it's really exciting to see. They're also working up to the very last minute here because the Legion Go S, as far as I understand it, is launching next week. So yeah, it's clear that Valve's still working on this. I wouldn't be surprised if the Legion Go S comes with a day one download. I mean, of course it will because it's Steam, but you know what I'm saying. So of course, several hours after I finish my Steam Deck news video, Valve goes and announces SteamOS 3.7.8. This is the latest stable release, and this includes what seems like final, or at least launch final, Legion Go support. This is really exciting. The changelog is absolutely massive, as you can see, and I'm recording this after I have already released the video on Subscribe to Me, so this is just going to be a section for the YouTube video. So not only did they update the core of SteamOS itself, so rebasing it on a later Arch Linux build. They've also updated the Linux kernel, the Mesa stack, and Plasma, the desktop, to version 6.2.5. They also added frame limiting for VR displays, and they, quote, improved support for other AMD-powered handhelds like the ROG Ally and the original Legion Go. And you can see here they updated the SteamOS recovery image for repairing SteamOS on the Steam Deck and the Legion Go S. So if you click on this, this is now updated, and as they mentioned on that page, you can see there's now security boot settings that you need to adjust for the original Legion Go and the ROG Ally. So guys, I think that means that SteamOS is officially here. This is SteamOS that you can install on other devices. Not only that, but like other AMD powered handhelds. Guys, I think it's time. I think we need to start installing this on other devices and seeing how it works and reporting the bugs to Valve. This update also is accompanied by a change to other SteamOS related pages on Steam. For example, the SteamOS landing page has been updated. A lot of this is just marketing copy, but if we scroll down here, you can see, does this mean I can install SteamOS on any device? And it says, we expect most SteamOS users to get SteamOS pre-installed on a Steam Deck or device that incorporates SteamOS. The only devices officially supported on SteamOS right now are Steam Deck and the Legion Go S. We're working on broadening support. With the recent updates to Steam and SteamOS, compatibility with other AMD-powered PC handhelds has been improved. If you are interested in trying out SteamOS on your device and providing feedback, you can use the SteamOS recovery image and follow the instructions here. Guys, this is super neat. SteamOS is officially here for other devices outside the Steam Deck, and I think that that's super exciting. And one more thing before we get back to the actual video and not my cutaway, they added some Bluetooth stuff. This is stuff that we've talked about in previous beta updates, but they've added HFP and HSP profiles for Bluetooth devices, which are currently only accessible in desktop mode. They've made it so that Bluetooth devices can wake up the LCD Steam Deck, which was a feature that was exclusive to OLED models up until very recently, up until this release actually. They've also enabled AMD's P-State CPU frequency control And desktop mode now supports surround sound, but it does not work correctly in game mode yet. Anyway, there's a ton of stuff here. It's really exciting, and I'll probably go over the rest of this in next week's news video. All right, let's get back to the video at hand here. Now it's time for the deals of the week, where we review some of the best bundles and sales to help you grow your library. This week, there's a fun bundle I want to highlight over on Humble. It's the Stomp and Chomp game bundle. It's got 7 titles here for $18, and it's all about dinosaurs. All of them are rated at least playable on deck too, which is pretty great. First up, we have Amber Isle, which is Steam Deck playable. Then we have Prehistoric Kingdom, which is also rated playable. Then Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion Remastered, which is verified. We have Fossil Fuel 2, which is playable. Parkasaurus, which is playable. Terror of Hemasaurus, which is verified. And I Wanny Hug That Gator, which is playable. Yeah, that last one makes me a little uncomfortable. Now, I'm in it for the Turok, but you might want it for Parkasaurus. Whatever the reason, most of these games cost more than the 18 bucks you'd pay for the whole bundle, so it's a pretty great deal. And if you use my affiliate link below, you'll be helping this show out at no additional cost to you. Thanks. All right, next up, NVIDIA has laid out their vision for Wayland support going forward in their drivers, and this is important because Wayland is the future of desktop compositing, and NVIDIA has remained staunchly stuck in the past, only supporting Wayland's predecessor X11 for the longest time. Now, if you don't know, Wayland is what's called a display server. It's basically the thing that draws the windows on your screen. It replaces X11, whose last numbered release was in 1987. That's not a joke. And it's designed to solve many of the limitations that have been hanging around in X11. And NVIDIA, being NVIDIA, they're the last GPU vendor to implement proper Wayland support in their drivers because NVIDIA is the Internet Explorer of Linux. Now, in a forum post, NVIDIA states that there are some features that will never come to their Wayland driver stack. Things like stereo rendering using GLX, EGL, or Vulkan, among other things. Another example would be the fact that NVIDIA Settings app will not offer the same level of configuration under Wayland as it does under X11. They also mentioned some of their broader goals for Wayland support, including support for display multiplexers, and these are the chips that are used in laptops that have both integrated and discrete GPUs. They also want to add support for APIs like VDPAU, which is a video decoding and display protocol, and they also want their own virtual GPU standard to be supported under Linux. Okay, so earlier this month, just like 2 weeks ago, I think, ZOTAC announced their new gaming handheld is on the way, the ZOTAC Gaming Zone. This was intriguing, especially since it's running Manjaro out of the box and comes with the impressively powerful Ryzen AI 9 HX370. Now, I didn't talk about this much because there wasn't actually a whole lot to talk about with their announcement, but given that Computex just happened, let's talk about it. Well, and this is really exciting actually because ZOTAC revealed at Computex new details and showed off the prototype. I mean, besides the diamond-shaped D-pad, which I find very suspect, it kind of looks like a third-party controller. Aside from that, though, everything else kind of looks right here. The placement of the sticks looks pretty great. The diamond shape of the face buttons looks great. It comes with 24 or 32 gigabytes of RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, and the 2280 form factor, which is awesome. The joysticks and the triggers are Hall effects. It has a 48.5 watt-hour battery and a 7-inch AMOLED display at 1080p with HDR support. No word on VRR as far as I know. But the other thing that I find very, very interesting here is that it has dual trackpads. I think that this must be the standard going forward. Dual trackpads are indispensable, and they unlock a whole extra level of input, and I think that they're indispensable. Like I said, I think they're very cool. Now, what's really awesome about this, though, is that Philip Mueller from Manjaro posted a fairly extensive breakdown of how Manjaro worked with ZOTAC on this. And yeah, there's some interesting details in here. Basically, they've been working with ZOTAC since January of this year to get device-specific drivers ready for launch and in the kernel. But they've also helped to port the ZOTAC 1 launcher to Linux as well, which remains to be seen. I've never used the ZOTAC 1 launcher. Hopefully it's worth using. Let's just say that. Now, I'm going to be very interested to get my hands on this when it launches. I don't think we have a release date quite yet, but when it does launch, I'm going to try to get my hands on it. Because, as you may know, I'm actually a huge fan of the work Manjaro is doing. I run it on most of my Linux machines here at the house because it just works, especially when it comes to devices with NVIDIA GPUs. It has a similar CPU in it, the AI9 HX370, and it is a very impressive APU. It blows the pants off the Steam Deck, and I'm really excited to get my hands on one of those devices for sure. But the question is, what do you think about all this? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And while you're down there, why not like that smash button? It's the best way to tell YouTube you want to see more videos just like this. And did you know that I release a video every Friday? Sometimes Monday too. Get subscribed so you don't miss those. I want to thank everybody who has subscribed over on the Bryant blog, which has been a refreshing creative outlet for me to be able to cover Steam Deck and Linux news, but also other things that I'm interested in. And it seems to have been resonating with folks out there. One of my favorite things that I've done recently is revisiting the PSP, what we lost with emulation. This article is a deep dive on some of the interesting system software on the PSP, and this has been one of the most popular articles that I've written over on the blog. If you want to check it out, head over to the link down below for this article specifically, and it's one of my favorite things that I've done in a long time, so yeah, I'm really proud of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, let's get back to the news. So this is an interesting turn of events. Microsoft just announced that they've made Windows Subsystem for Linux available as open source. Now, if you're not aware, Windows Subsystem for Linux, or WSL for short, is a means of running a Linux distribution inside of Windows without the need for a dedicated VM or dual booting. It's kind of neat. The code is officially licensed under the MIT, which means it's 100% unencumbered, and the code is available for anyone to use for any purpose. Though it should be noted that there still are a few bits and bobs that remain proprietary. I'm curious how this is going to benefit anyone except for Microsoft, as this is a core Windows component, so it's probably not going to be that adaptable to other uses. Now, according to the announcement post, Microsoft's Pierre Boulez said, quote, "Over the years, we've been incredibly lucky to have a strong community support WSL from day one. We've been blessed with people sharing their knowledge and spending countless hours to help track down bugs, find the best way to implement new features, and improve WSL. WSL could never have been what it is today without its community. Even without access to WSL's source code, people have been able to make major contributions that led to what WSL is now. This is why we're incredibly excited to open source WSL today. We've seen how much the community has contributed to WSL without access to the source code, and we can't wait to see how WSL will evolve now that the community can make direct contributions to the project." Again, this is a fascinating move, and one that I did not have on my 2025 bingo chart. Who knows where WSL is going to go from here, but it will be interesting to take a look at nonetheless. All right, so the final story, and this one is a biggie. GOG has added 2FA support, and yes, this is a huge deal. This means that GOG is now probably more secure than your bank, and that is hilarious. I highly recommend you switch over to TOTP 2FA if you haven't already. Now, to do so, you're going to need to go to GOG.com and log in. Go to Orders and Settings, and then navigate to Login and Security. If you've already got email authentication enabled, you're going to have to disable that first, so go ahead and click the Disable button. Then you'll need to fetch the 4-digit code from your email. Once you put that in, it should show you that the Authenticator app option has become available. Click this button and you should see a QR code. Now what you're going to do is open up your TOTP app. For most folks, this is going to be on your phone. I use FreeOTP Plus on my Android device, which you can find through F-Droid or through the Play Store. Now tap the floating camera icon here and scan the QR code from your computer screen. Now on your phone, you can tap the new GOG.com entry and it will give you a 6-digit code. Punch that code into the prompt on your computer and click this button to finish up. And congratulations, you've now enabled one of the most secure forms of two-factor authentication for your GOG account. Well, that's it for this week's Steam Deck and Linux gaming news. Let me know what stories you would like to see covered in the comments down below. I want to thank my members on my blog, on Patreon, and on YouTube for making this show a reality. If you'd like to see your name listed over here, then you can use the links below to make that happen with a monthly contribution. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on Monday.